We're joined, by the way, with Frank Dux.
No. It's Dux.
Well,
There's a guy out there named Viking Samurai or something. He's inviting everybody on the show who could badmouth me, but he's never once spoken to me, which shows you his level of ethic.
Hey guys, I had quite a few of you send this to me, bring this to my attention, which I appreciate. It's kind of funny. One of the guys said, "Hey, check it out. It's the Three Stooges talking crap about you, and they're talking crap about Stephen Lambert and Sheldon Lettich." So anyway, I just thought that was funny. They call these guys the Three Stooges. Now, I don't know any of these guys. I don't have anything against them, though. I do have a message to Frank Dux in this video, which I'll get to. But let me do a response video to this. And I'll break it down, because I don't think it's justified that he's calling me unethical. Now, with all that said, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything in the video, I thought it was an interesting discussion. So I actually still gave it a thumbs up. It's over 2 hours. He covers a lot of stuff. I'll actually link the full video in the description below. And, you guys come to your own conclusions on it. But if anything, it's actually pretty entertaining.
And I've really been kind of pigeonholed, pretty much martial arts wise and everything, by all these kinds of people who control the narrative. Well, there's a guy out there named Viking Samurai or something. He's inviting everybody on the show who could badmouth me, but he's never once spoken to me, which shows you his level of ethic.
Okay, so let's break that part down. Frank Dux is under the impression that I'm inviting all these guys on the show to basically talk crap about him. So the two guys I had on the show that I made videos because Frank Dux happened to come up in conversation, Stephen Lambert and Sheldon Lettich, the great writer-director. Stephen Lambert, by the way, is an amazing stuntman, and why not push his book? Because it is a great read, and I'm only recommending it because he's got amazing stories, including one I'm going to share with you guys. Well, actually, that story I'm going to share is not in this book, but there are so many other good ones, man. Linked in the description below. Buy it from Amazon. But anyway, here's essentially this is interesting. Interesting Viking Samurai history, because it's kind of pivoted my channel for me even getting guests to begin with. So I had made a video trying to get to the bottom of if Steven Seagal really crapped his pants from getting choked out by Gene LeBell. Pretty popular video. Apparently it got Stephen Lambert and his writing partner's attention because it had actually referenced the story as Stephen Lambert told it in his book, and obviously had other stuff in the video as well. But anyway, Stephen's writing partner reached out to me and said, "Hey, Stephen liked the video. He'd actually like to share that story on the channel." And I thought, great. Instead of me just regurgitating what he said in the book, I can have the real guy talk about it. And not only that, I can pick his brain about a lot of other amazing stories. Some of the videos I put out were about the quest, because I found out Stephen Lambert actually did the fight choreography. And when I brought that up to Lambert, he said, "You know what? I got a really funny story involving the fight choreography, the quest, and Frank Dux," and he even shared a picture of a lunch event, that a bunch of these industry guys were at, and he shared that story with me, which I don't even think was in the book, because I read this whole book. There's like over 100 stories, but I don't think that one was in the book. But what he told me was very entertaining. It was amusing. Why the hell wouldn't I put that on the channel? Like, this is martial arts history, and this is a funny story, so that's how that got out. It wasn't like I just, contacted Stephen Lambert. "Hey, Stephen Lambert, come on the channel. Let's talk shit about Frank Dux." No, that's not the case. As far as Sheldon Lettich goes, so obviously Frank Dux and Sheldon Lettich worked together on what I consider some of the best films ever of like the 80s and 90s, right? You're talking Bloodsport, you're talking Lionheart, Double Impact, Only as Strong, etc. So I wanted to legitimately know, what involvement did Frank Dux have with the fight choreography? And Sheldon Lettich, I thought that video was very fair. Sheldon Lettich gave him a lot of credit for Bloodsport, a lot of credit for Lionheart. Those are two amazing films. In fact, Lionheart's my favorite Van Damme film. Bloodsport, I made a video saying it's the best martial arts film of all time, so I obviously think very highly of it. But Sheldon Lettich also said Frank was not very helpful on Double Impact or Only the Strong. So, if anything, the video is very neutral. He's giving Frank credit on what Frank deserves credit for, but not on the other two projects where he doesn't feel Frank should deserve credit on. So, anyway, would love to get Frank's side of the story, but it's not a hit piece on Frank Dux. Now, The other video I made with Sheldon Ledge, and this is kind of funny, my cat happened to be sitting on the Secret Man book because I had ordered it a little bit ago from Amazon.
Is that a real? That's a real cat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real cat.
Okay.
He just happened to be sitting comfortably, and it's actually kind of funny. I will show you after he moves. I don't want to move him, but I will show you after he moves what he's actually sitting on, which you'll get a kick out of. I've been meaning to read it, just haven't gotten around to it yet, and I'll explain why. But my cat was sitting on it, and my cat finally moved eventually. And when I was talking to Sheldon Ledge, I had to share what my cat was sitting on because I thought Sheldon Ledge would get a kick out of it. And then that's how that whole story, Sheldon Ledge said, oh, let me share something very interesting with the book and a short film that they worked on together. And it's, again, sometimes these stories, how they come about, they weren't even planned. I wasn't planning on really talking about The Secret Man with Sheldon Ledge. I didn't know anything about that whole quest fight choreography thing with Frank Dux and Stephen Lambert, but that's the cool thing about having the conversations with people on the channel. Like, I have things I want to ask them, but sometimes things just organically come, and it's like, boom, that's a great video topic. Let's run with that. So anyway, it's not like I invited Sheldon Ledge and said, hey, let's just talk crap about Frank Dux, and I'll put a series of videos out just so we can attack this man. No, that's not the intention of the channel. That's not the intention of these videos. Those stories just happen to come out. At the end of the day, Frank Dux is a martial arts celebrity. Sometimes he comes up in conversation, and the stories are entertaining, so I'm going to share them with the audience. But they're not hit pieces on Frank Dux. In fact, if you do a YouTube search on Frank Dux, let's see what comes up. So, for example, if you do a YouTube search on Frank Dux, and everyone's search results are going to be different based on what you kind of been searching for. But, for example, I'm just typing in Frank Dux. I'm not typing in Frank Dux fraud, Frank Dux anything else, just Frank Dux. And look what pops up. We got The Fictitious Life of Frank Dux. We got The Lifetimes and Lies of Frank Dux, Kung Fail. We got How an American Ninja Tricked Hollywood. Exposing fake martial artists. I got Steven Skull on that one too. A couple other ones. More Lies by Frank Dux. And let's see. We got Many Lies of Steven Seagal. So, you know, a couple different Frank Dux ones in general. But again, there's a lot of negative stuff. So if Frank Dux wanted to attack YouTube videos like mine, for example, I don't think that's justified. I'm not putting out these kinds that are, you know, I haven't watched all of them, but they're specifically directed towards Frank Dux. Whereas my videos, I had a guest. Frank Dux is a martial arts celebrity. Sometimes he comes up in conversations, and they shared interesting stories, and they had real experiences with Frank Dux. But it's not like I'm out to get him or anything.
But he's never once spoken to me, which shows you his level of ethic.
Okay, so the part about not reaching out to him, not talking to him, not having him on the channel. So, like I'd mentioned, and this is a cool thing, I've met a lot of really cool people on the channel, and people on the channel know people. So I've met quite a few people that know Frank Dux, and I've been planning for the longest time to have him on the channel. I would love to talk to him. The thing is, I really wanted to finish this book, but I prefer reading nonfiction, so I kind of put that on the back burner. I got a stack of books to read. I got a stack of movies. If you remember, I did an unboxing video from November of last year of all these movies I got from Black Friday. I haven't watched any of them yet. At the end of the day, a lot of my time goes to work. I'm a martial artist. I train in the gym all the time. A lot of my time's devoted to that. Like, I'm not only a fan, like, I live that life. And most of my free time outside of that, I'm working on videos. You would not believe the amount of content I have. And I'm also doing Zoom meetings, usually 1 or 2 guys a week for hours at a time. So, long story short, I got so many videos to edit, probably like 100. That's not even exaggerating. There's going to be stuff from months ago with Stephen Lambert, way more cool Bay Logan videos, way more cool Sheldon Ledge videos. I just talked to the martial arts wizard, George Pogasic, and we're doing different videos. One of them on, you know, like remembering Sonny Chiba, who unfortunately passed away a couple weeks ago. But with that said, I am not going to schedule any more interviews until I can get Frank Dux. Even though I have a couple over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get Frank Dux. I'm not going to schedule any more. I'm super overwhelmed. If anything, I'm like trying to over-prepare for this Frank Dux interview, which, you know, maybe I should have invited him sooner. But regardless, the amount of work I got to do, it's a little overwhelming, which is a great problem to have. I'd rather have too much than too little, but Frank Dux is going to be a priority. I hope he sees this video. I hope he still wants to talk to me because, again, I want him to share his side of the story. I think the audience wants to hear it. And speaking of which, please submit your questions below, whatever you want me to ask him. And I got some unique things to ask him. You know what? Like, I don't even know if I'm going to end up reading this book before I talk to him or finish it. That's fine. There's so much other stuff to go over. But anyway, that is the reason why. There's so much, like, interviews and videos to edit and work. And, yeah, let's just get Frank Dux on there. I'm not going to say anything else until I can talk to him. And if I don't talk to anybody for weeks or months, though I got a couple guys lined up over the next couple weeks, but if I don't talk to anybody else, honestly, I could literally just edit the stuff I have, and I'd have enough videos to put out the rest of the year. That's no lie. 2 or 3 a week. I just got so much content I'm sitting on. So, but we're going to get Frank Dux on. That's got to be a priority for sure.
He'd go out there, ruin my hard-earned reputation to grab some what? Some views for himself? He thinks that's going to really raise his station in light? Right now, I so many people are just looking at the guy going, for what he really is. There's no ethics. That's the most unethical thing you can do.
All right, I got to respond to that. As far as the image goes, it's tarnished. I'm unethical. I must pivot. I got to change. So instead of the Viking Samurai, it will now be known as the Viking Samurai Wolverine. All joking aside, I think I do make a pretty good Wolverine. So this is going to be my Halloween costume this year. So that is going to happen. Oh, one more thing I want to point out. There's quite a few people, like I mentioned, that either know Frank Dux, are friends with Frank Dux, or have been associated in some way with Frank Dux. And depending on the person, they've either actually said very nice things or not so nice things, right? So I was actually pleasantly surprised to hear how great Frank Dux is as far as like martial arts ability. Now, the thing is, and this also relates to Steven Seagal, I think because a lot of people don't necessarily believe a lot of this stuff they've said, like, regarding the CIA and other top secret stuff, they discount these men entirely. And I don't necessarily think that's fair. And I've talked about that with Seagal, but I don't think that's fair with Frank Dux either. Because at the end of the day, it's like, whether you believe those stories or not, and whether they're true or not, you can't discount everything about these men, right? And I've never doubted, like, Frank Dux actually is legitimate as far as, like, martial arts and martial arts ability. But I think people, if they want to discount the Kumite or if they want to discount the CIA government work, then they just want to basically discount Frank Dux, and I don't think that's fair. So, I'm not saying all that stuff's true. Most people are under the impression it's not. But I don't think we need to basically just say, well, everything Frank Dux is associated with, we can't take serious. I think that's unfair in general. And based on the people I've talked to, they kind of confirm that with me. So, anyway.